So here we have the physical build of the AM7. The main body is made out of this gorgeous wood that's covered in like a resin coating. So you get this like nice shine from them. In the center, you get this really good looking like flower shape that's double layered. The attachments to the wooden cups are made out of metal with brass adjustment rods that can just easily push up and down. Then the headband is surrounded in leather and then stamped with the logo, which looks really good. And then in the center of that, there's spring metal. So here they terminate in dual 3.5. Then the little plastic bits that cover the jacks are also 3D printed. But overall, they're a beautiful looking headphone. The one issue I have with the build is that they clamp just a bit too hard. And when you try to stretch them out, you can see that the suspension strap will keep you from bending it all the way out to get rid of that clampiness, which is a bit of a problem. So now let's get into objective audio. Here I have a frequency response graph pulled up of the AM7. The red line is the suede pads, and the green line is the leather pads that they come with. So they come with two sets of pads, suede and leather. As you can see with the bass, the extension isn't the greatest. That's typical of open back dynamic driver headphones. However, they fall off pretty quickly. So if you wanted to add a bass shelf to this, you probably can only get to about 40-50 hertz. So you won't be able to get all the way flat down to 20. So even with EQ, you can't get the greatest extension. Then you can see with the mid-range, the 1 to 4K region, there's quite a bit of less energy going on there. For this specific rig, at 7K there are peaks, so the red going over the line here is not really accurate of how it actually sounds. The treble is quite tame. I would put it on the darker side of things. It's fairly smooth and inoffensive though. So now it's time for subjective audio. These are like if the HD600 and the LCD2 had a child. You're getting a very intimate soundstage. These do not stage wide at all, nor deep. They are very intimate, very in your face. I might even put them a step lower below the HD600's staging. Then they're similar to the LCD2 in the sense that you are getting that relaxed mid-range, that darker, smoother treble. The LCD2s have that bass extension that these do not, but they kind of take the, bass from the HD600s. One thing that these are definitely not good for is gaming. These do not image well. Period. The end. I would say any given sound where it's supposed to be coming from can be 30 to 15 degrees off from where it should be. Then for enjoyment with music, I think these have a charm to them. For the Kickstarter, it was $400. However, the MSRP is about $740. And for $740, I don't think that these are worth it. I think the HD600s are better. They have better timbre, better frequency response. I think the LCD2s are very similar to these, but they're better. They have better imaging, better staging, better frequency response. If you like that relaxed mid-range that these have, the LCD2s do it in a more tasteful manner. I think the mid-range is a bit too lacking on these headphones. It goes all the way from 1K to 4K is just gone, while the LCD2, it's just the 2K region. And then that with the lack of treble, there is just not a lot of detail whatsoever. It is a very recessed sound, sifted. However, I do know that the creator said that these were intended for jazz music. I do not listen to jazz. These could be the greatest jazz headphones on the entire planet. I couldn't tell you. I don't listen to jazz. But for most other genres, I don't think these are the greatest for it. At $400, I think these would be a different story, but for $740, there's better choices. The Focal Clear is better, the LCD2 is better, the HD 600s, they're better. So even though these are beautiful, comfortable, unless you really like that dark, relaxed sound that they offer, I don't think these will be a good option. And then finally, there is one major thing to go over. These headphones come with a fairly nice stock cable. It doesn't hold much memory, it flows pretty well. And the thing is that left and right on that cable isn't labeled, but that's not a problem because no matter what side of the cable you put into the headphone, it will always correct itself to left and right. There is a consequence to this though. I have not gotten these headphones to work with any other cable I own. It only works with the stock cable, which probably has something to do with the auto-correcting channels. So if you get these headphones, to my knowledge, my unit might be messed up, you can only use the stock cable, because anytime I plug in any other third-party cable I have, doesn't work. Only the left channel will work. With the stock cable, both channels work fine. So I don't know what's going on there. My unit might be messed up, but yeah. But yeah, that's everything. This is my first ever video. I hope you guys like it. And I will see you next time.